Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. We're still doing Angelina Jordan, and today we're doing her through one song chronologically through different musical styles before we reach Angelina's version. We're starting and finishing with Unchained Melody, and it began in 1955 when it was written. There were three versions that year, which are really old school, before the age of rock and roll, and these could have been from 10 or 20 years earlier. And the middle one is actually a baritone opera singer. Let's see how it all began.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch. Time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me.
That was 1955. Also in 1955, Cab Calloway from the big band era, he started with Unchained Melody, and his version came from the same school. The big band era also included Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, and it was really popular in the 40s and early 50s. Cab Calloway is probably most famous for his version of Minnie the Moocher.
Hey folks, here's the story about Minnie the Moocher.
Following that, we're moving on to 1959 with Perry Como's version. Perry Como had his own weekly one-hour TV show, and it was very fashionable in the late 50s. We had the Perry Como show, we also had the Nat King show, we had the Dinah Shore show. It was very popular in this era. Perry Como is a very relaxed style. He's in the tradition of a Bing Crosby. Let's listen to these two now.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time.
Time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine?
That was 1959. By 1960, the song was moving into different musical styles. The Platters did a cover. They were an easy listening group, sort of in the tradition of the Drifters with Benny King. And also doing it in 1960 was the late, great Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was considered the king of soul. He had a very easy, smooth style. He did very famous songs like Chain Gang and A Change Is Gonna Come. These two versions are from 1960.
My darling, I've hungered for your touch. Time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much.
We move on to 1963 now to doo-wop. Doo-wop is actually called because they actually sing doo-wop in the song. I really like doo-wop, and the first example we will actually hear where they, instead of singing doo-wop, they're singing shabop shabop. Same difference. The next example to understand and illustrate doo-wop is this over-the-top version from Dion and the Belmonts. You have to imagine the origins of doo-wop, standing on the corner, four young lads in the Bronx, all singing a cappella with a DA Do you not know what a DA is? It's not a district attorney. It's a duck's ass. It's the shape of the hair. It's very distinctive. This version is over the top. Then we will hear the original Vito and the Salutations from 1963. And I will warn you, it is very different than all the others.
To spend one night with you. Time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much to you.
That was 1963 recording. In the mid-60s, we had massive artists like Roy Orbison and Diana Ross and the Supremes. Roy Orbison was a one-off singer. He was from Texas. He was very famous for his songs Pretty Woman and Only the Lonely. And he has a certain type of vibrato in his voice, which is very, very distinctive. 20 years later, he was playing alongside Bob Dylan and Tom Petty in the Traveling Wilburys. Following that, we will be hearing the Supremes, example of Motown. Roy Orbison's recording is from '69. The Supremes did their recording in 1966. Let's have a listen.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch. A long, lonely time.
Time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much.
Now we go to the late 60s and early 70s. The first performer we will hear is Al Green, who is a phenomenally gifted soul singer. And following that, we will hear Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond's performance was actually from 1998, but he was most famous in the beginnings of his career in the late 60s and early 70s. So first, Al Green, performing in 1973, very rich soul singer.
And time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me.
That was the early 70s. Now we're moving to 1977 to hear the great Elvis Presley. He did this performance only 2 months before he died. You can see why he has a massive, massive worldwide reputation. He's a real class act, Elvis Presley.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long time. Time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love.
That was 1977 with Elvis Presley. And now we're going back in time. We're going back to 1965 to the gold standard classic, most famous performance by the Righteous Brothers. The Righteous Brothers were a couple of lads from California who exploded on the scene in 1963 with You've Lost That Loving Feeling, which is the most popular song played on radio in the 20th century. You do know it, yes? This is what it sounds like.
Now there's no welcome look in your eyes when I reach for you. Girl, you're starting to criticize little things I do.
But my favorite song from the Righteous Brothers is a really obscure song off one of their albums called Just Once in My Life. I'll just play the first 10 seconds, and what I like about it is the really thick wall of sound. It almost sounds like the ocean waves coming in and hitting the shore.
There's a lot of things I want, a lot of things that I'd like to be.
And now we come to the gold standard performance from the Righteous Brothers. This is the one that Angelina Jordan has used as the model for her song when we hear that shortly. And this is a mighty, mighty fine performance.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch. Lonely riverside, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch, lonely time, and time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I really need your love. Godspeed your love to me.
That was the Righteous Brothers, and that was in 1965. Fast forward to 53 years to 2018, and we have a 12-year-old girl joining the list of artists doing the Unchained Melody. And can she live with the great artists of the past? Well, this is an Angelina Jordan channel, so I'm optimistic that she will impress us greatly.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch along lonely time, and time I need your love, God's special love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Yeah, lonely riverside, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hunger for your touch, your long, lonely time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love, God's special love to
I think Angelina Jordan is great. The thing that most impresses me, she's not reliant on the power of her voice. She's not reliant on the arrangement. But what she does, she has the tenderness in her voice, which communicates on a different level, which she does with so many of her songs. And this is what makes her so incredibly special. It's the tenderness. Okay, gang, we will continue to run and run with Angelina Jordan. I'll catch you later. I'm out of here.